You know, one of the things that I love about reading, personally, is just growing as a reader. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I am Andrew, and today I just got a general video about reading in general. But before we get into that, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel as it does help us grow, and check that description box down below for links to my Patreon if you want to help support what I do here. And generally, I like to keep a pulse on kind of what I'm doing and how I'm kind of just functioning as a reader, because when I started this channel, I started as a very structured kind of reader. Essentially, I was like, okay, I'm going to read a John Gwynne book, I'm going to read a Pierce Brown book, then I'm going to cycle back and I'm going to read the next John Brown book, or John Gwynne book, not John Brown. I don't know who John Brown is, but I would stack these books just so that I could move through series in a very just kind of structured, straight format. And that doesn't work for me anymore. I am not that kind of reader. I am more of a mood reader now. I can still create my TBRs, but I have to be honest with myself when I say that I don't think, for me as a reader, I can stick to a strict TBR, because I start to feel trapped. You know, once you get a big enough TBR, and I've got 6 shelves here that, I'm just currently surrounded by 6 shelves, and I've got a 7th right over here. Maybe adding an 8th here, but we're not here to talk about that. But when you start feeling trapped by what you're reading, if something else is calling to you, it is perfectly okay to say, hey, right now, this is just a not for now. I'm going to stop. Come back to this when I'm ready, and I'm going to reach for that book that I'm excited to read. Case in point, I had a TBR buster. I call these TBR busters recently show up at my door. We've got No Port in a Storm by Cal Black. This is a review copy I have long awaited since I finished the first book. And as soon as that book showed up on my front door, everything else just ceased to be a thing for me. And I love when a book can make me feel this way, because it's exciting. Reading should be fun. If we are reading for pleasure and not for academic advancement, this should be a fun hobby. If you're forcing yourself through books, if you're reading things that aren't making you happy, if you're miserable, if you're slogging, switch it up. Reach for something that may not be in your normal wheelhouse. Normally, a period mystery may not work for me, but you know what? If I'm in a slump, it most certainly does. If I'm feeling a little bit of burnout from my fantasy, I can reach for sci-fi. It's just fantastic. If sci-fi's not doing it for me, I can reach for, turn around, progression fantasy right there. If progression fantasy isn't doing it for me, I can reach for dark fantasy. If dark fantasy, you see where I'm going with this, I can reach for clockpunk. If clockpunk isn't doing it for me, I can reach for something classic. Although I haven't read this book yet, so it's a poor example. But that said, guys, there's so much to do and so much value, I think, in a mood read that, it's good to have structure for me. I'm a structured person. I always want to schedule out my videos in advance. I want to know what I'm doing. I want to be weeks in advance. But when it comes to my reading, I want to make this not feel like a chore. I want this to be fun. And I think that there is just so much built-in value in reading what makes you happy in the moment. You could be halfway through a book, so me specifically, and if it stops working for me, please close that book, go do something else, try it again. If it's still not working for you, you might be just forcing yourself to read something in the current moment that you don't want to read. And so just switch it up. Reach for a book that is going to fill you with joy, with excitement. And I just absolutely love this. This kind of dovetails into something else that Murphy Napier recently did a video on reading speed that I absolutely loved, because this kind of dovetails into my mood reading thing, where certain books require to be read at a certain speed. If I try and start a beautiful prose book going full speed, I am going to smack into a wall, and I need to step back and analyze why this hasn't worked for me. I've run into this with a Janie Wirtz book, where I was just this prose doesn't, I thought this was supposed to be good prose. I was reading the prose too fast, and therefore I was missing the cadence, I was missing the point, and I wasn't enjoying the book. As soon as I made that switch, the book instantly became an instant favorite for me. So it's just like, slow down, enjoy what you're reading, reach for the mood read, do whatever needs to be done in order to get joy and fulfillment out of what you are reading. A lot of the times, I'll see, Patrick or Mike or Patrick Ryan or Nico or just Leslie, Sarah, Tori. They'll all start talking about books, and I'm just like, that sounds amazing. And then instantly I want to reach for those books. But if I've got a super strict TBR and I feel constrained and trapped, it's just kind of like, I want the books, but I can't have the books because I'm trapped and I've made commitments and I'm trapped in buddy reads and read-alongs and review copies. All of this stuff can kind of suck the joy out of reading. And I am really, really working on trying to kind of just claw back this love of reading, because I do love reading, but a lot of the times if I feel like I've got a commitment to reading, it changes the name of the game. It becomes work. It becomes a job. And that is not something that you want to happen with your favorite hobby. That is bad news bears. So a lot of the times if something's not working for me, maybe I'm A, trying to read too fast. B, I'm trying to read it too slow. C, I just need to read something else. It's just, there's so much that goes into reading for joy. Please do yourself a favor and give your reading self, your hobby, what it needs. Like, if you're just completely burned out, it's fine to take weeks, months, however long you need off of reading to just decompress and make this work for you. There is so much great fantasy out there, great science fiction, great historical fiction to enjoy. It would just be a shame to let something that could just easily be fixed ruin something spectacular. There are some books that require a certain mood to be read. Make sure you're in the right mood to read them. If you're not in the right mood, read something else. That's all I'm saying here, guys. I don't know what the point of this video is other than just treat yourself well when you're reaching and trying to plan out what you're reading next. There is value in being a structured reader, but there's also a lot of value in the mood read, and I have seen myself shift from super structured to I'm more of a very, very fluid mix. I started out strong. First half of the month, I will probably hit half of my TBR. Just boom, 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 boom. But that second half of the month, I start to get a little antsy, and I need to just start reaching anywhere on my TBR to figure out something that's going to really shine and be given a fair chance to just blossom into like a new favorite read. And for that reason, like I love me some mood reading. That's all I've really got for you here today, guys. Till next time, peace out, stay magical, bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.